Hey, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and today I'm joined by Squeaks.
Squeaks!
We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to be going into the Clayface trailer that just came out that is scary as hell. We got some reboots on the horizon, some new movies, and a reboot to a classic game. And we're going to be discussing how Xbox is basically setting up a new era. It's been 7 years, guys, since Avengers Endgame graced the theaters. First off, 7 freaking years, dude. How crazy is that?
Just time is just wickedly fast.
It doesn't
like the
feel.
biggest villain.
It feels like maybe 2 or 3. 7.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Yeah. So I tell you, the pandemic run just threw my clock off. Looking back at that movie and just the pinnacle of theater going experience. Who do you think had the best story arc out of that movie?
So I don't know. Like I really enjoy the Steve Rogers story
Yeah.
arc, and I think it's like him giving that selfish, um, it's like a selfish in a good way, having that ending where he just wanted that past. He doesn't know what life is without a war, so now he gets to live that life, right? And then him
Hmm.
handing off the torch. But I think one of the favorite ones that's kind of continued on is going to be the Nebula. So she's always like was
Nice.
born or created with this like as a weapon, right?
Hmm.
And then she comes face to face as her old self, but then she starts becoming that sister to Gamora, and then she finds like a more of a wholesome family within the Guardians. So I think Nebula's one is really that gets overlooked at because we look at a lot of Tony Stark and Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Um, so I think Nebula. I like to see more, and I'm really enjoying her within the latest Guardian stuff. And I know that's whatever that feature looks like, but yeah. What about you? What do you
She's a
think?
real highlight. I really hope they keep around for the cosmic stuff. I think
Hmm.
Tony Stark's like the right answer, right? I think a lot of people are just gonna say, "Oh, obviously it's Tony," but I
Hmm.
really like the Hawkeye and Black Widow storyline,
Okay.
especially with if we look at Hawkeye, he's Ronin in the beginning of Endgame, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
finally returns back, for his family to try to bring them back by the end of Endgame. And then Scarlet Witch, who has never really had a family, she's got Yelena out there, but we didn't have the Black Widow movie yet.
Hmm.
But to
Hmm.
kind of be like, no, your family is with Clint. It's with the Avengers, and her sacrificing herself to try to save Clint. I thought that was a really good way to end her story. Somebody who's always been kind of a loner and alone, and so I don't know. I
Yeah.
just really liked it a lot myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to kind of see that Ronin side explored a little bit more? I know that's kind of bigger in comic books and whatnot. Would you like
Yeah.
to see that more of a big screen? Would that enhance the character as well?
You know
Probably.
what? I don't want it to be in theaters. I want it to be in a video game. Give me a Ronin video game. I think that'd be dope
Okay.
as hell. What do you
I
think?
think
Do you think you'd
that
be
would work
Ronin?
really well. Yeah,
Heck
I think
yeah.
that would work really well if you give it to something like Insomniac with doing those Spider-Man's now upcoming Wolverine.
Yeah.
I could really see them
I'm
do
thinking
well on
Ghost of
the
Tsushima.
Hawkeye.
Have them make a modern day version of Ghost of Tsushima.
Ooh.
Boom, call it Ronin, and I'm set.
Hmm.
I'm in.
Okay. Okay. that makes
Those games
that
are
makes
so damn
sense.
good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So damn good.
Shoot.
All right, we're gonna get into the news in a second here, but first, guys, I've been preaching it for a while now, and you only got 2 more weeks to go. Capital Creative Showcase. I'm gonna be on stage. Squeaks is gonna be there. Our friends at Distance Learning are gonna be on stage. We're gonna be doing interviews. We're gonna be playing video games. We're gonna be playing board games. Giving away booster packs. It's $10 a ticket if you guys use code Geek Freaks and buy your tickets early. I'm on the board, so we're tracking ticket sales and stuff like that. And it's like, oh yeah, they're looking pretty good. But it's like, yeah, but I want to brag a little bit by saying, look how much
Yeah, yeah.
heat I'm bringing myself. So you guys
Hmm.
use code Geek Freaks and you get the $10 tickets. That's the way to go. Otherwise, they're gonna be $20 at the door. So think that
Mm-hmm.
through. Come and join us. We're also gonna be at Retro Cordova this weekend, doing their gaming expo, and we usually do the prize wheel, whatever. This time we're just gonna be hanging out and having you guys jump on microphone with us. So if you guys want to come and answer some questions on mic, you're gonna be part of the episode yourself. That's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, let's dig into the news. We're gonna start off with that Clayface trailer. It was terrifying. I mean, I know that they
Yeah,
said
it
oh, this is
was.
gonna be a horror movie, yada yada yada. Did you get kind of the willies from this? It was kind of spooky, especially that last frame.
Yeah, no. If you were to show this to me and me not knowing what the title of this was, I would, yeah, not even think it would be even close to the DC universe. And I know that DC
Yeah.
is doing all this villain stuff right now, but nowhere near. Like I thought this. Um, yeah, but it looks phenomenal. it
Right.
looks great. What do you think? Do you think this might be a little too scary for maybe some of the
Yeah.
viewers? I don't know.
I mean,
think
I don't
we're
want anybody.
getting.
I don't think anybody should be going to this if they're like, "Oh, I'm here to see the next Batman adventure." I don't know what the
Yeah.
audience, because people will see the it's Clayface name, but no, this needs to be treated as a full-on horror movie, especially after that first
Hmm.
trailer. And as long as they do that, I mean, it's rated R. I think it's gonna be just fine. Now, of course, when I'm watching the
Yeah.
trailer, am I noticing the Gotham PD on the cars? Am I noticing like the clown, poster or whatever behind him? I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
is that a
Hmm.
Joker hint? Of course, I'm gonna
Hmm.
do that the entire movie, but I think it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. And I think this is really going to tailor to the older adults anyway,
True.
because who's really
Yeah.
like tracking Clayface, right? I think maybe we got him in one of the
Oh yeah.
Arkham games, and that's about it. Other than that, he's really popular in the animated series, and we're all grown
Well,
since
that's what
then.
this is based off of too. By the way, is the animated series one. That's the inspiration for this
Oh,
Clayface. Yeah,
nice. Oh, I mean, shit.
even more sold,
How
huh?
much more perfect can you get?
I know, right?
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Um, so what? I got a random, probably like question right on the spot for you. So hopefully, it's not too difficult. But what are you kind of thinking? What's going to be thrown in there that's going to connect it to like maybe like
The rest of
the
DC.
Batman with
Doesn't need
Robert
that because this is
Pattinson?
going to be set before Superman. So, do you want it to connect to the rest of DC or even a Batman?
I I wouldn't mind having it connected to like that dark side of DC somehow.
Okay.
I know you're
Yeah.
getting like those connections with like the clown and the Gotham PD, but even so for the clown, for example, I wouldn't mind if it was hints to like maybe what's to come from the DC, this dark side
Yeah.
DC,
Fair.
era. Um, and maybe like you said that it doesn't have to anyway. Like I wouldn't mind like these subtle Easter eggs, but like I wouldn't mind seeing Clayface talking to a Joker, but then that's kind of like it. Like it doesn't have to grow from there.
The one connection I can see, which is funny because he himself had a perfect series that really had almost no connection to Batman except for the very last frame as well. Um, but I would say
Yeah.
the new 52 version of Clayface, he is given the vial from the Penguin. And so if we had that same scenario where
Mm,
Penguin's giving him the vial, that eventually, changes his molecular structure to become Clayface. Or,
mhm.
or or even is like the one where it's like, oh, you're not paying up, so let me, try to have you drink this kind of thing. If they go with that story, either way, if it's through Penguin, that's a fun little plug. That's not too
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
and it's just enough tie-in. Like I really think it's okay being distant.
Yeah, it's almost like what I was saying, like, if you do the thing, the vial thing, right? And you kinda just end it there, right?
Yeah,
Penguin doesn't need a return.
right.
Um, I really love what they're doing this, I guess you could call it imagery or something like that, where he's wiping his face and it's just all
That
wax
scared the hell out of
looking.
me. Yeah, that was
So
like, ooh, that's
brilliant.
yeah, oh yeah, so good, so good. There's a
Oh,
there's a
shoot.
really good story that kind of came out a few years ago. Gosh, I don't remember how long ago, where he goes to Hollywood to try to escape Gotham and like actually be an actor. I don't know if you've read this one. God, it's so good. Uh,
Um, I
and
think
he
we've talked about this before.
Oh, have we? Okay. Where
I think so.
he's got a series of friends with him, and him and his other friend are like gonna try for the same role. He doesn't get it because he's taking it too seriously, kind of actually Wonder Man-esque. But his friend gets it, and so he takes his friend's identity. And as the day's going on, he keeps like killing people and like taking their identity as well, and just like getting out of control. And he's at this one party at the end of the night, and of course Bruce Wayne's there. Uh, and then you come to find out Bruce Wayne's there because he knows that Clayface moved to LA and he wanted to keep an eye on him. And he's like, one line or whatever whereas Clayface is like, "Hey, this is my city. I just want to escape Gotham." And all the Batman says is 9 people in 1 day. And just takes his ass down. And it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's so good." So,
Mm,
there's a lot of really good storytelling out there with Clayface. I think that the animated series really reinvented him, and then we got some good stuff coming out.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited. And then we can get our Mr. Freeze series. Come on, guys. Give us that.
Yeah.
All right. Hollywood doesn't have an original idea in them. We know that much outside of the Avatar movies that you keep toting. But let's start with the original Avatar movie. Boy, this is almost a good segue, huh? FernGully is getting a new movie. It's going to be live action. It's done by Prime. What the
I
fuck?
look at that
Under
because
your
I'm like,
breath.
what the fuck is
Do you remember watching FernGully back in the day?
Damn. I do remember this little rat bat looking
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
I do
Played by
remember
Robin
seeing that.
Williams.
Yeah.
That little rat bat,
Yeah.
badass. Tim Curry was the bad guy. Yeah. He was great. The
Batty
smoke
Coda.
preacher.
That's funny. Oh wow, Tim Curry. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You
Wow.
remember, like, he had, like, a good
Um,
song and he was terrifying. It was great.
yeah, wow. So this is being animated, you're saying
Nope.
remake?
Live action.
Okay. That's different.
It's too bad.
So,
A live action,
um
this one's a movie, I wanna say. Yeah, movie. I could kinda see, like, the timing of it makes sense, we're definitely, a renewed vigor for climate change or whatever, but um I just don't know if we need it. Like, tell a news story, or dear God, if you want a
Yeah.
climate change story, go to Captain Planet. He's just waiting there, asking to be made. I don't know.
Yeah, screaming to be made. Yeah, especially if it's a live action. I don't know. Like these fairies flying around. I don't know how that's gonna look. It's gonna look very
Right.
CGI, something Maleficent
Yeah.
like. You're gonna have like this animated, like you said, the Rob Williams character. I just don't see this being very successful. This looks pretty
That
bad,
that's one of the things that
or will
concerns me
be.
is one of the selling points for this movie is the iconic voice of Robin Williams, because that bat has been electrocuted and tested on. So he was like kind of haywired and crazy, which is like, yeah, Robin Williams is perfect for that. I cannot think of
Mm,
another actor that could portray that character very well. And then even with Tim Curry,
mm.
just his voice was so good at being a villain.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
like, God, right away, it takes me back to like Muppet Treasure Island and stuff like that, one of his best. Um,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if I don't know if he could replace those two actors.
Oh man, yeah, uh, yeah. You just gotta. Yeah, this is not gonna work out. I'm
Not gonna
calling
work
it.
out. Yeah. All right,
No,
here's
no.
another reboot for you. This one's for a series. It's The Phantom. Now, back in like 1996, they made a movie for this. There was a little bit of a TV show they tried at one point, but basically it's a comic book from 1930s. And I know you're having to Google it because you're like, man, The Phantom. I don't even know the
Yeah, I'm like,
name.
what is this shit? What are we doing, guys?
It's I will defend The Phantom. The Phantom is
Okay,
dope.
okay.
Uh,
Oh,
King
okay. This
Features
purple
and
guy.
Milestone are making this. Now, Milestone you might recognize as a DC property that's known for
Okay, yeah,
making
yeah.
black superhero characters and amplifying black voices. And I think that's where the
Okay,
Phantom's gonna get really dope, because the Phantom's all about this guy who's on a ship that's attacked by pirates, and he washes up on a coast of Africa. He's uh he's an adult man, but he vows to fight back against all pirates and injustice in the world. And so he kind of becomes kind of a mythological figure amongst these tribes, and they all work with him to like take out poachers and pirates and stuff. And what's dope is everybody thinks he's immortal, and what it actually is he's passing down the mantle to his kids. So it's like 27 people who
mm,
have been the Phantom, but they all think it's only been one. And so it's just he keeps passing it down to his son and training him. He has no abilities, no powers. It's just that he keeps passing down the mantle. And so it kind of reminds me
okay,
of like the Black Knight from Marvel. Like, I love that little feature about him.
okay, okay. So you're saying with the black voices and stuff like that, right? So
Yeah.
are they changing this character to
They have not said
be
anything like that at all, but I think,
okay?
like, I wouldn't mind. Like, literally, he lives in Africa. He lives amongst African ruins. He's got a pet wolf with him that fights with him, and he rides on a horse. And I think a
Okay,
black
that
character would be
part's cool.
totally cool. Yeah, I mean, he's a
Yeah.
really cool character in the fact that he's like, but like I think it was Billy Zane played him in the '90s, and that's when I really fell in love with the character back, obviously in the '90s. Um, and he wields double pistols is like his big thing. Is
Yeah.
these two
Yeah.
pistols he brings out all the time. And I just think, like, if you're
Hmm.
gonna do it, make him a black character. I think that'd be fine, especially with it being Milestone that's making this. Of course, when I posted that TikTok about this, I got a bunch of comments being like, "Oh, well, then let's make Black Panther played by Ryan Gosling." I'm like, clearly not the same thing, guys. Were you really giving a shit about Phantom before I said this? Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's not that big of a
I
deal.
I agree. Like to the fact that this character is so you're pulling him at the very very bottom of the bag. Like
Yeah, he's
there like the recognition level of Black Panther and Phantom is different spectrums, you know.
yeah, yeah,
So I think if you brought this character back, does anybody really give a shit what this
right,
character comes back as? You know? Yeah.
yeah. And the thing is, like, in 2025, they made a new comic book from him, a run for him, and the
No.
art is spectacular, dude. And it's
Mm,
like,
okay. Okay.
shit, this would be a sick ass movie nowadays. And then just a year later on, they're like, let's make a movie out of this. And
Yeah.
I love that. Matter of fact, here's something that I don't even have in the notes because it literally came out today. Uh, so there's a Django Unchained, which is one of my all time. I mean, like, if that movie's
Hmm.
on, I'm gonna watch it. There's a sequel to it. It's in the comic book form, and Quentin Tarantino
Oh.
actually wrote it, and it's Django and Zorro teaming up together.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yes, and today Sony has said they're making that movie, and Django or
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino gave him the approval. He's not going to work on it, but he gave him the approval to work on it. So
Yeah, that's badass. Yeah. Heck
it's
yeah.
badass, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I cannot wait for that. So that just came out. Like, I don't have a lot of information on that. That news just came out.
That's
So
wild. Okay.
yeah.
That's two different universes coming together. Shit.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and even the timeline wise, like
Character wise.
Zorro has to be older in it because like that's to make the timeline work, which is fine because
Hmm.
Zorro's the mentor. But all the
Mhm.
comic book too, it's a 7-issue run. It's a great comic book, written again by Quentin Tarantino. Make sure you guys check that out. You can
Yeah,
get
I
the
have
whole
to
set on
check this
Amazon for like
out.
15
Damn.
bucks. Yeah.
Okay, wow. Wow.
Last reboot we're gonna be talking about is actually in the movie world, I should say. That's gonna be the title, guys. Reboot Central. RoboCop
Yeah.
is getting a series over at Prime. RoboCop is everybody liked Terminator when I was a kid. Everybody's a big Terminator fan. I was a
Mhm,
RoboCop
mhm.
kid. Did you like RoboCop when you were younger?
I'm gonna say yes. I really, really enjoy RoboCop. Really
Yeah,
enjoy.
he was good.
And it wasn't until I watched it recently, maybe like a year or two ago,
Yeah,
just a rewatch of some, popular movies
classics.
back in the day. Yeah, classics. That how I guess gory. I kind of forgot it was.
Hell yeah, it is. When
I
they kill
didn't
Murph in
really
the
remember
beginning, like,
that.
damn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially that office scene with the robot going haywire and it just blasting everybody. I forgot how
classic.
gory this was.
Oh,
Yeah.
me at like 7 years
Um.
old, just absorbing that movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, people can blow
Yeah. I
up. Okay,
think.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to ensure that Amazon does a great job ensuring that maybe that it stays true to how almost wacky it was back then.
Yeah.
You know, as long as it keeps it that way, I think it'll be successful. I mean,
It's
out of
funny
all
you
these,
brought
these are the most recognizable. Yeah.
what a great term for that, wacky. I like that term a lot because they tried to remake this in 2015 and it was okay movie, but like
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
had Michael Keaton, had a lot of really good actors in it. But the whole thing was during the test run of building RoboCop, he had the silver armor. But then as soon as he was actually going to go out and start doing his job, they gave him the sleek black armor and was like, that's
Yeah.
not RoboCop
No.
though, man. You
Yeah.
know,
And I
I give him
really
that
hope that they
chunky,
keep.
like heavy
Yeah.
armor that looks a little bit wacky, like you're saying. Like that's
Yeah.
part of it. Yeah.
And I think very much that they need to keep it that way. I think if anything to make it more look modern is still having the same stature, the same build, but
Yeah.
maybe little hints of something here and there. I would not
Right.
like
Right.
to
Right.
see it super modernized. I would love to see it, kind of like that classic being brought back to life.
Yeah, and
You
I
know.
think now of all three of these stories actually is probably the best timing because like have it like oh AI is taking over. I mean that's the perfect story for him to be fighting
Yeah,
alongside because
yeah,
Murph is trying to fight against programming to show humanity. Like hello AI, this is like literally the best time for
yeah,
this story. It's gonna be great.
yeah. And the robots go haywire in the show. So
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, in the movie. So it's like you lean on AI, maybe outsmarting it. Basically, like the Ultron kind of like, hey, I'm gonna take over. I'm smarter type thing.
hmm
So yeah,
that's one of the funniest
pretty much.
things is like of that movie. RoboCop is obviously who you're impersonating, but also like the bad robot that they're like, oh, we're gonna replace RoboCop with this thing that's got the big guns
Hmm.
on it that's made
Yeah.
by claymation. Clearly, like that thing when you were a kid was just like that thing is sick. You know, that thing was so badass. And of course, like
Yeah.
falls downstairs or something real wacky, but
Mhm.
it is so badass. If you want a wacky one, you got to watch RoboCop 3. Have you seen that one where he fights a samurai, a robotic samurai?
I don't recall. I recall 1 and 2. I don't recall 3. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
3 is extra crazy. They recasted got Murph for that. But
Mm.
he ends up fighting a robotic samurai, like Japan makes their own version of RoboCop. It's a samurai and sends him to go assassinate him. And then RoboCop gets an upgrade. He gets a jetpack he can put on that's so chunky and big, but he's able to fly
Mhm.
around with it. And it looks so bad, like you can almost see the strings on the back of him. But again, it's one of those things where I'm like running around the living room like,
Yeah.
boom. It's good stuff.
Man, jetpacks back then, man. It's that, and then it was the what's the toy one from with Arnold Schwarzenegger? I just watched it. Not Jingle All the Way. Is that what it is? Or
What?
no?
Oh yeah, Jingle All the Way, Turbo Man.
Is that right? Is that am I
Yeah,
right? Is that the
Jingle All
name?
the Way,
Okay,
of
okay.
course. Yeah, Turbo
Yeah.
Man.
With the
Yeah,
Turbo Man. There you go. Yeah. It's like jetpacks back in the day, man.
that
That's what
was
it
the
was all
shit, man.
about.
That's all we wanted. And nowadays we've got like kind of
Um,
like water versions and whatnot. The military
yeah.
actually has jetpacks. What the hell?
I do wanna add though, I think that RoboCop really needs to is to highlight that grimy what was it, Detroit, right? Yeah.
Detroit.
And to make
Yeah,
it look just such a wasteland. I think that needs
yeah,
to be
dude.
highlighted as well for the series.
Dude, I miss.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this. It's not like I live in New York. I miss '80s New York. Like something about like when it was just kind of like I know Ferris Bueller's Chicago, but it's the same vibe where it's like something about the '80s movies in big cities were
Mhm.
just it was better. It's like very much more gothic. Planes, Streets, and
Mhm.
Automobiles to me is another one a good example of that. Where it's like I just
Mhm.
miss '80s New
Mhm.
York. It was better back then. Just
Yeah.
the on TV, on screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, and in number 3, by the way, with the samurai and the flying RoboCop, the police department goes to war against like the corporations, and they like have a street fight. It's the best
Hmm.
fucking movie. It's
Hmm.
so good.
I'll have to go back and watch that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
damn.
it's crazy. All right, and then we're getting a movie for Battlefield. Now we have a Call of Duty movie coming out. Do you think this is straight up just to be
Yeah.
like, well, if we have a Call of Duty one, let's make a Battlefield one too, like they do with the video
Well,
games?
then to me, it's like, okay, what makes this different than any other war movie? Like, what the
Exactly.
shit? I think if you do Call of Duty, you could kind of maybe to make it different, lean into the Black Ops side and have it kind of a little bit more high tech and whatnot, and
Yeah.
maybe that. But for Battlefield, I don't know. Like, what you blow up a building, cool. So does every other like military movie. I don't understand what's going to make
Yeah.
this different than the others. I mean, is it just a name to pull people in? Well, I mean, I don't know. What are you expecting out of a Battlefield
The
movie?
only thing I could like, I was really trying to rack my brain over this. Like, why are these movies? How are they going to be different? How are they going to look different other than just the names? I think Call of Duty might follow character stories a little bit better, while Battlefield might be better for like the scale of a battle. So if
Okay.
in Battlefield, which by the way will have Michael B. Jordan in it, so that's dope. But
Okay.
if you
Plus.
have like air battle going on at the same time that people are fighting through the streets while somebody else is sniping from a building, like if you show multiple things going on at once,
Okay. Okay.
that will feel like the game, and that's something that Call of Duty can't do to the same degree.
Yeah, I like that. I think maybe if somehow you have multiple battles and it's kind of like that hint, like this is point A, B, C,
Oh, I
but
like
not
that.
telling you A, B, C, but
Yeah.
there's like this big map, right? And
Yeah, some
different
Nick
things going
Fury-esque
on.
characters tell you like we have to capture the gas station, and then we have to capture,
Yeah.
and that way it kind of feels like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, those are checkpoints. Gotcha. I like
Yeah.
that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
That's
I
what I'm
think for the
thinking.
Call of
Thank
Duty
you.
one to keep it different enough, it has to be really following like here's a squad of 4 that have to penetrate, into Russia or pick a country, any country, it
Yeah.
could be any country, and then do something. I think that might be a
Yeah.
little
And
more.
Call of Duty does a wonderful job telling, a campaign. I used to buy Call of Duty just for the campaign.
Agreed, same. That's the
Because
only
they're
reason I play
fun.
them
They're
still
a
is for the
blast. Yeah.
campaign. Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Good
but I
times.
could not tell you. Maybe you could tell me what is the Battlefield story. I don't know it. There's Bad Company's kind of got a story going.
That's the only one I really remember is Bad Company because that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time playing with Joey, which no
Yeah.
one ever hears from anymore on this podcast. But but yeah, we played Bad Company a lot, and that was fun because that was just what reminded me back. It was like 3 or 4 guys, kind of like mercenaries, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
and then it was kind of jumping through time too, and I really
Yeah.
liked back when it was like during the Vietnam War era or something like
Okay.
I think
Okay.
that would be cool. That would actually feel like a good movie. It,
Yeah.
all right, guys, we're selling it now. Now we're pitching it. Make a Battlefield, Bad Company, put it in Vietnam. Now you got yourself a movie. I think
Yeah.
that'd be sick.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I don't know what you would do. Just a military
Yeah.
movie.
All right, and again, no original ideas around here, folks. We're going to Assassin's Creed Black Flags is getting a resync, so essentially a remaster.
Yeah.
It does now. They do the side by sides. They do this every time they do one of these.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
is an upgrade. Is it a $70 upgrade to you?
So it being probably one of the best,
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, and it does feel like even like some of the gameplay, I think they're adding different elements from different games. I think some of them being from what was that? Assassin's Creed Shadow? Is that the last one? The
Yeah, I think
ninja,
yeah,
the samurai
they're
ninja one?
Mirage. Oh no, yeah, that one, Shadow, yeah.
Yeah, is that one?
Because they're
Yeah, so
adding
I think
like
they're bringing
faster
some gameplay from
combat.
that.
It's not the just
Yeah.
the defend yourself and go.
Mm-hmm.
They're adding a
And
better
yeah.
parkour as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it has I think the potential of being a fully $70 game is there. It's been so long since the last one that it doesn't feel like it's just a money grab. And yeah, I mean it's not a remaster. It looks like they did a great job of just making it a remake. Um
Yeah.
for me to spend that money though, it's a hardcore no. I'm not going to. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of on that boat too where no, like stop not having original ideas. Like make the Assassin's Creed games great, like they used to be. I haven't played a great one since to me personally was Syndicate. Um,
Mhm.
you blast a 60-hour story, you get away from the Assassin's Creed itself. The Templars are not a thing really anymore. You built like these
Yeah.
trees that are just like I forgot the names of whatever it is anymore. They went away from it, the original storytelling. And
Yeah.
I think that's what pulled me away from it too. Like I used to like that Abstergo was an issue in the modern day and in the past, in
Yeah.
a way.
And it was
Modern day, but then
annoying.
the Templars and them. Yeah.
They're actually getting rid of the Abstergo storyline in the resync of Black
It's
Flag.
so wild. It's
I don't
so
know why they're doing that. Now I will say that when playing the game, those were annoying. But the story was important to me, so it was worth it for the story part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't recall, because it's been so long, but, there was one of them where it was kinda neat that you were testing, I think it was like an at-home thing or something like that, and
Were
you're
you
testing one
testing
of
the
the
video
products.
game? Oh,
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
testing the pirate video game based off of DNA, and the guy that was working with you was Blackbeard, or maybe one of the other pirates. So like
Okay, okay.
that's this game. That's this one that they're taking
Yeah.
that part out of the game. It's like son of a
I
bitch,
wa
guys. Yeah, why do
yeah, I
that?
don't really understand why they're so focused on just telling the, like, just a history lesson,
I
you
think
know?
they got above. I think they got above their heads because if you think about like the end of the Ezio storyline, I think this and the Ezio games are like okay, one or two. You can go either way. Um, but if we look at the end of the Ezio storyline, that's where it's like we save the world. It's really big. They're like ancient humans. Literally,
Mhm.
we unleashed a god to save the world. Like they were probably at a point where like, shit. But then when they did this game, there was
Yeah,
like a level of
yeah.
like going around and securing the temples to make sure that thing that happened successfully
Mhm,
happened. But so that was referencing Assassin's Creed 2.
mhm.
And since then, they were just like, well, we don't know where to go with that, so let's just not do that anymore. But we still make a lot of money on these games, so let's keep pumping them out.
And that's fine, then obviously, how do you still screw up then the Assassins and the Templars?
I
I don't
agree.
think that
That
should have
is the
never
number
gone
one
away.
part of the games I loved, like storyline wise.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and I love having, like, the historical characters kinda fall into that, the
Yeah.
real life historical characters fall into that. It's just a shame that it's not the same, yeah, storytelling, I guess it used to be. And you know what,
Yeah.
like, there was something that's so iconic about that white hood, right? For the
Yeah.
assassin, that white
Oh yeah.
gown. And, like, all the characters now just shy away from that, and it's
I
like,
know.
"No, that's the creed, bro, that's the creed." So when
That's
I'm
the
playing
creed.
Valhalla and your partner was, like, in that getup, I was like, "Oh, man, here we go, I'm ready to be a Viking in
Yeah.
this iconic gown," right? And it just never happens. I'm like, "Cool, I like that you
It's a
gave me the hood and stuff
DLC.
like that."
Yeah.
But you got a ninja, I never played this one because again, I fell off so hard with that series.
Yeah.
The ninja female in Shadows, that is just like that's like the what do you call the GI Joe, the White Snake guy, whatever it is. I
Yeah.
don't know these characters' names anymore. But it's like that is that. Give me
I know.
that, you know?
It's the
Ah, man,
iconography the game's known
shame.
for, and you guys are taking away from it. And it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
why would McDonald's lose the golden arches? But you guys are doing that right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's a shame because like one thing that you had mentioned was like, oh, I like a lot of the modern games. I don't finish them like I used to. I used to play those old
No.
Assassin's Creed games from start to finish, absorbing that
Yes.
story like crazy. Now I'm not invested in the story at all. I like the combat; it's fun, or whatever. But I'm not
Yeah.
invested. And I have not finished an Assassin's Creed game a very long time. Yeah,
Yes, and right now I still have it installed on my PS5, which is the
yeah, yeah.
Valhalla one, because I mean, my PlayStation says I'm 80% complete, and it's been like that for a while now, which is crazy.
Right, right.
But 50 hours, dude. 50 hours, and I go straight to the story. I don't do any side stuff anymore.
Yeah,
So effing ridiculous.
yeah.
Ridiculous. Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
you got a job. I
Crazy,
mean,
man.
that could definitely be
Yeah.
50 hours for extra content, sure, but like the main story should be
Yes.
done after like 25. Yeah, I think you're 100% right.
Yes. Yes. Crazy.
So
Makes yeah.
I think it's really cool, but like me and Scott were talking, and like the first thing I saw when this thing was announced was like, ooh, that's gonna be a good summer sale someday. I'm gonna buy that bad boy
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
year for $20 and be very happy with my
Yeah.
purchase. I'll beat the shit out of it
Yeah.
then. I'm not buying it right now. There's no
Yeah.
way.
And everybody knows me as Squeaks, but this is clearly the best assassin period because his
Well,
name is Edward. So
of course,
you know?
the true name.
Yeah.
That's for all the people who really know you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Assassin's Creed, guys. We'll be playing it. We'll review it in 2027 when it's
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah.
All right, let's do into reviews. Did you finish up Invincible season 4?
I did. Yeah, I did.
So
I
I'm gonna
did.
tell you right now, man. Thragg. As somebody who hasn't read the comic books, I was like, okay, this Thragg, yeah, he's pretty cool. Okay, I look forward to seeing this guy. Then throughout the season, like, oh, clearly he's just insanely strong. But like that's just kind of a standard villain for a comic book character, especially in Invincible, because like, oh, he just gets stronger and beats him eventually. And Thragg
Mhm.
was definitely like that next level for sure.
Mhm.
But in that final, so spoiler alerts before I go into the final episode. But that final episode when Mark goes back to Earth and he's having the PTSD or the hallucinations either way, and eventually Thragg does meet him up in the skyline and
Mhm.
says, "We're here on Earth and we're gonna stay here. We're gonna breed, and you can't do anything. We'll just tear your planet apart." And you're just basically creating Vulture eventually because they live for thousands of years.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is why he's the big bad. Is because
Yeah.
that's such a sick idea. And like I was
Mhm.
pissed with him just a second ago, not to be like sadistic, but like, how dare you let Mark, because he like leaves Mark alive because he's like, oh, there's so few of us left. That's fair. But like in that moment, how the hell do you not kill Mark? Like that's silly for you to just like leave him alive. He just tore your
Yeah.
country, your planet apart. Uh,
Mhm.
but that move was like, that's why you earn the Joker status for this franchise. That's why you're in the Lex Luthor, because you come with that kind of a plan.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
did you think about the finale, and what did you think about the introduction of Thragg in this season?
Yeah, so Thragg was perfect. He is that next level character. It's kind of like watching a
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z, right? And Goku defeats someone. What's the next one? So clearly
right,
shows that he is that Annie up to Conquest. Is that right?
right.
If I remember
Conquest
right?
was one beforehand. Yeah, yeah,
Conquest.
yeah,
Okay. Um, but yeah, like what you said, that when they're flying and kind of wheeling and dealing, it's like that kingpin aspect out of him, where it's like he's not just bad physically, but he's also bad, like playing the mind games and
yeah,
being like, one step ahead in chess. Um and when he's speaking of this, deal, I mean, he's not wrong, right? It's like, you destroyed my planet, so now you're gonna have to live with this essentially. And
hmm
and right now, Mark is in a vulnerable position. There's no Omni Man next to him, right? His brother's nowhere near. Obviously, he's being healed. So what is Mark to do, right? I mean,
yeah,
you can't fight him right now. I mean, you tried to, and that clearly didn't work out.
yeah,
Also, right then and there. So, um, and yeah, so he kind of has. I was gonna say, without spoilers, because I'm farther ahead in the comic books.
yeah.
Um,
And I know kind of what
he
happens there
will,
too, but also let's not
yeah,
spoil it for people at home. Yeah,
yeah, he'll keep and it's almost like you believe him in a way, right? But you always
hmm
have to think also, how am I going to outsmart Thragg? Because I know Thragg is probably trying to do something to outsmart me. Um, but it also just seemed believable that, hey, we will mess with you, but
yeah,
you're kind of stuck with us in a way, hidden. Yeah.
yeah. The best case scenario. It's hard because Mark's weakness is the fact that he's a good person. Like that's definitely his weakness amongst the
Hmm.
Viltrumites. It's a weakness in the story. Because if he's a bad person, keep fighting, and eventually you could possibly win. Like the way he took out Conquest, as terrible as it was,
Yeah.
it worked, and like that could possibly work here too. But the second you start doing that, thousands upon thousands die,
Yeah.
and it's such a good part of any superhero story, or like we see with Batman, like he just won't kill anybody. Why is Joker alive? Because Batman just can't kill him. And like there's so many arguments that Batman should kill Joker. And in this moment,
Mhm.
it's like you just got to take out Thrag, but you're gonna kill so many innocent civilians. I just think that's a really good example of why Mark's a hero, and it just messes things up. And then like on Thrag's part,
Mhm.
like just to have those Voltrumites out there, I love what's his name, Crag, I think it is, the one with the one eye. He like
Yeah.
right away is slaying chicks. Like he's
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
motorcycle, he's got a redheaded
Yeah.
honey, he's smoking already. Like this
Yeah.
dude's been waiting for vacation. he's
Yeah.
I know what my job is. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. You
I
mean I
love
don't have to fight for once or prove that I'm the strongest to anything?
yeah.
Yeah. And then that's where I think we're gonna run into this dilemma like Omni-Man did, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
I wonder if he's fallen in love with someone, right?
Yeah.
So um and then
And not
maybe at
just
one point
him.
that we
Yeah,
have to,
there's
take over the earth.
Anessa, I think her name is, the woman Viltrumite. That's the
A
big
short
question
hair or
coming. The short
the
hair one.
sharp
The short
blade
hair one.
one? Okay, okay.
Yeah, the blade one's dope too.
Yeah.
The short hair one. Because for the men to repopulate their people, very easy.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
For the
yeah.
women, it's a whole different ball game for them. It's a slower process. It's one at a time, and they can't even stand being around humans. And then to bring them in like that's asking more of the women, I would say, than it is asking for the men. So I
Yeah,
bet that
because if you
messes their
think about
psyche
it,
up.
because what is their mentality towards men, right? Someone that's just a human that's so
Mhm.
weaker to them, and
Yeah.
now they have to do this, right? Do you think that's something that's going to be visited within the series?
I think at some point it will be. I think especially with
Yeah,
Anessa, I think she's gonna see that there are very few people worthy of her. And if she's going to continue uh the Viltrum DNA, she's gonna try to
yeah.
find her fellow Viltrumite.
Okay.
And so humans won't do for her. Now, all the guys, I think it's quite easy for them. I think they'll, just keep breeding as they would.
Yeah.
But like you were saying with Omni Man, if they fight the right person, then what? Then you become
Yeah.
Omni Man.
Exactly.
And boy, talk about Nolan's arc. I could never imagine I'd forgive that man in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
But we're
Mm-hmm.
at this point now where I'm just like, I don't know if I forgive him, but he's trying. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's kind of like that abusive boyfriend thing where it's like, he's better now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. With their black eyes.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh shit. Um. What happens though, right? If they create a child, right? Let's just say one of the females, right? Gets
yeah.
pregnant and has the baby, but doesn't show signs of like
Oh
Voltramite
yeah. Mark took
abilities.
a while. Yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
interesting to see, like, hey, if this is not happening, what are we doing? Right? Like, do
mm,
we see you as weak now and kind of get rid of you type thing?
yeah.
Or yeah, or is there this connection? They can't see themselves like, hey, this was my child. How can I let it be that way? But I know that like the kids always fought back then on their planet.
Right.
I don't know. I'd be interested to see like that scenario play out.
That's such a great point because the other thing too to add to that equation is the fact that they live for thousands of years and humans don't. So the way that we see Mark's brothers' species, I can't think of the name of their species, but like they only live for like 7 years or whatever it is. So the
Oh
humans'
yeah, yeah,
perspective on their species is very similar to how the Voltrumites see the humans, to where it's like, you know, if the experiment fails, okay, we'll just try again. There's gonna be an entire new batch of humans in a blink of an eye for us. So,
mhm,
it's kind of like one of those things where they could keep trying. And yeah, it worked out well for Nolan. He had Mark, and Mark obviously is a very good fighter, specifically this one. But would that be the same case if it's the woman that's the Voltramite? We don't know how the DNA works in this whole thing. So there's all kinds of questions, but the idea that this experiment has to be done on Earth, and if Mark, one of the maybe 4 people that'll know or whatever what a Viltrumite is, seeing them, can't say anything or else his entire planet gets ripped in pieces. That's such a tough piece of the puzzle. How is he and gosh dang it, I can't remember his name for any Walton Goggins gonna solve this problem? I don't know. I
yeah,
hope they work together
yeah,
again. That's tricky. Yeah.
yeah. Cecil.
Thank you. I was waiting for you. I was looking into your eyes, hoping it would come to
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
It took me a minute for you and you said the actual name. And the only
Yeah.
reason why it clicked is because I just like recently was like, I know this voice. So I had to look it up
Oh
and I
yeah.
was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's why I know this voice.
Walton Goggins had like 4 shows coming out at one time because he was on White Lotus,
Man,
Invincible,
Fallout.
Fallout. It's something else too. It was like this guy is just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, he's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you think should be shouted out or is a negative from this season of Invincible before we start throwing a grade out there?
I don't think there was a negative at all.
Yeah.
Even like the little after credits for the last episode to kind of see like, hey, Thragg might only die because of this virus. I don't think there's anyone stronger than him. That'd be an interesting play out too. Um, I think it's nearly perfect. This is the honestly, from reading the comics for so long, like maybe season
Yeah.
2 is when I started reading the comics. I've been waiting for this point for so long, and it's just gonna
Yeah.
get better. Yeah. So,
Is it worth me reading
um,
the comics? Because I know we're now at basically a little over the halfway point at this point.
I super enjoy the comics. I'm well past. I don't know. I got to be maybe like a quarter left. I think there's like
Okay.
150 something issues. Um,
Oh,
I
you're reading by
really
issues.
enjoy the
Okay.
comics.
Those
Yeah.
omnibuses, the like, 3 big omnibuses, I was like, those
Yep.
just look
Yep.
good on a
Yep.
shelf, and I just wanna and that's one of those things where it's like, I want the paper version. Those bad boys look so good,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wanna talk to
I
you about the
really enjoy
comic
it.
adaptation of it because so first off, my score is gonna be a little bit low because or lower than perfect because I think the first couple episodes maybe took a little bit of while to fire things up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Then the
Mm-hmm.
pacing got really good. Then the pacing got great.
Yes.
And then that last episode, the pacing stopped a lot, and while I was watching, I was like, "Man, I'm surprised this is the final episode," because it felt so
Mm-hmm.
slow. And then the Thragg reveal earned it. But I know in the
Mm-hmm.
comic book it was done quite differently because he gets to Earth, and Thragg's already kind of like there, and he's actually with Omni Man when he's talking to him in that moment. There's not that whole trauma that he's showing on Earth, seeing
Yeah.
what could
Yeah.
happen and stuff. Which
Yeah.
version do you like better, the comic book version of that reveal or the TV version?
I really like the TV version. I like that trauma feel because at first it
Okay,
was tricking you, right? But then I think it was doing
yeah,
it too much a little bit. I'm like, okay, I know this is tricking, blah blah
fair,
blah.
yeah.
To make you think like, okay, maybe this last one's not a trick. Maybe with the Adam and Eve, like this is for real. But no, in the comic books, there's still so much more between that, with Adam and Eve. So that couldn't be right. Um, but I think it reaching the ultimate end goal was, being on Earth, staying on Earth. This was the deal, and then we're gonna stick with the deal. is I think it worked fine with me. I didn't have
Yeah.
any issues with it. Yeah.
Okay.
It was nice to kind of see a different version of it. Now you'll have to again kind of remind me a little bit because I'm well past that now. Um, you're saying Omni Man was talking to Thragg about this deal?
I believe that
Trying to
Omni Man
remember.
was with Mark when he was talking to Thragg about this in the comic book.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think I don't really remember Mark just like making that decision on his own. But yeah, I'm well past that. That's been a long time ago now.
Yeah, and
So
my knowledge comes
yeah.
from learning from people who have read the comics, so that's why I'm going
Yeah.
to you
Okay.
on this. So,
Yeah.
and matter of fact,
Yeah.
on that too, I from my understanding, they handled Adam Eve's like sudden weight gain and the abortion reveal
Hmm.
better in the show than they did in the comic book as well. And the comic book, they kind of almost made it almost like a fat joke thing, and in the show, it was much more like life, much more real
Yeah.
life kind of thing. What are your thoughts on that?
If I remember correctly, I kind of like the comic book because it was like what was going on with her type thing. Like the art was changing, like in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever. And I feel like the news of the the situation that
Yeah.
Adam Eve went through, um I felt it more in the comic book.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, like I felt almost it was like a mixture of anger and then like okay, I kind of get whatever that Mark was feeling in the series.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, I don't and this one was just felt like hey, this is something what I did, and then Mark is blaming himself consistently for it.
Right.
But I wish I would have felt like I felt like in the comic books where this is more of a it's not he's by himself, right? He's kind of
Hmm.
soloing the blame, and
Yeah.
I didn't really get that with the comic books. I felt like it was a dual, um, you know, yeah,
It does
dual
sound
thing
like
to work
though
out.
the emotions you went through when reading the comic, so you knew that reveal was coming in the show, and I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah,
So, but the emotions you're describing in the comic book, I felt those watching the show too. That mix of like
okay,
anger and sadness for Eve and sadness for Mark and sadness for the situation and like the ups and downs that are I think are kind of somewhat a sliver of what Mark is feeling and of course what Adam Eve is feeling in this moment. Um, and I was like, man, that's just good. That's Kirkman right there, man. That guy's so damn good.
hmm,
He's so damn good because it's like the
yeah,
fact that I'm feeling all these emotions is the point. It is exactly what
yeah,
you're supposed to be
yeah,
doing right there, and that's
yeah,
why she's going through such a tough time in her life right now. And so
yeah.
I was wondering how that felt in the comic book if it delivered those same emotions. It sounds like it did.
Yeah. So yeah, most definitely. And I think what it is maybe because I already knew what was
Yeah.
expected, and so I wish I would have like experienced that for the first time again.
See, yeah, and I did
Yeah,
watching
watching
it.
it. Yeah.
Okay, let's go out of 10. Let's go 10 floating dead Viltrumites in the ring.
Yeah.
Out of 10.
Yeah,
What do you
okay.
think?
Yeah, so I agree with you with the pacing slow at first, but then it finally got to the point where I was like just dying to
Yeah.
get to. But something I look forward to every time that episode is released. I never my disappointments were very minimal. I'm going with the 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out
I'm
of 10 Dead
sticking with 9
Voltrumites.
out of 10 as well. I think
Okay.
that
Oh, okay.
once
I
the
thought you were gonna
pacing
go
picked
way
up,
lower. Yeah.
well, because I thought it was gonna be perfect, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay.
I thought I
Okay.
was going 10 out of 10 when I'm like in the middle of like episode whatever 8, penultimate one. I was like, oh, this is the best show ever. Well, that was
Mm-hmm.
the best episode ever. Is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna go 9 out of 10. I do think there was some pacing things that could have been cleaned up in the beginning. I think maybe the Hell episode was too much of a filler, but
Yeah, but it was kind of funny.
it was
I
fun.
kind of laughed a
It was
couple
a
times.
different, yeah. It was fun, and then I
Yeah.
appreciated it going through, but also I was kind of like, oh, what's going on Earth?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was cool. It was very good, and I cannot wait for
Yeah.
the next season. And
Oh
I
man.
think when something tells you like, oh, I've gotta read the book or I've got to check out the comic book, that's a really good
Mm-hmm.
sign for it. And
Mm-hmm.
I literally have it in my shopping cart right now on Amazon. It's the
Yeah.
first omnibus,
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, this is happening. And so I
Yeah.
wanted to hear from you first, see if it's worth it. It sounds like it is. I'm gonna be getting
Most
it.
definitely. Yeah. I can't get enough of it. Yeah, I'm just becoming so in love with Invincible. So I can't
Yeah.
wait for the next season. I had to keep
Hell yeah.
reading. Yeah.
All right, guys, there you go. 9 out of 10 across the board. The floating
Yeah. Yeah.
Viltrumites, that is the most freaking metal thing ever. That is so dope. God, I love that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
sick.
That's it.
All right, and then we want to talk a little bit about Xbox. There's been a lot of shakeups going on over at Xbox with the new
Yeah.
CEO, Asha Sharma. And when Asha was first tapped to take over the role as CEO, a lot of concern. She's coming from the AI department.
Mhm.
She doesn't know video games well. Like, in her portfolio or on LinkedIn, she doesn't know video games in that department. But some of the changes she's making is very encouraging. I think let's
Mhm.
start off with the easiest one. Did you see the new logo for Xbox?
I think I did, but it looked pretty familiar, right? I mean,
It
it probably
should
looks
look
pretty much the
familiar.
same, right? It looks the same,
Pull up
right?
the new logo for Xbox. I want you to do that right now, and I
Let me
want to get
see.
your
Maybe I
immediate
saw
reaction to that
something.
new logo.
Okay.
It
Maybe I
looks
saw
the
something.
same, but it's new.
It's green though, right?
That's the point.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I can see the classic coming back. Yeah, the original
So
console.
it's going from
Yeah. So
like
this is
just
what
the
I
white
saw. I didn't know
silhouette
this was.
to that.
Okay. I didn't know this was what they're going to be going forward now. Okay. Okay. I just thought this was. I don't
That's
know. Xbox
Asha's logo
does
because
this
the
a
logo
check.
before that one is just the white silhouette of the Xbox logo. And that to me feels very much, I could almost hear starting up the Xbox original console with like the floating liquids and stuff like that. I can almost hear the old Xbox starting sounds, the 360 and stuff like that with that logo there. And I
Yeah.
think that's
Okay.
what Asha's trying to invoke. So let's go through a couple of things that they got going on, and we'll discuss whether or not this is the thing that they need to be doing to save the franchise. Okay.
Okay.
So first, they're going to be cutting the price on Game Pass. And one
Yeah.
of the parts of that is, and it already has gone down from like 30, it was $30, and now it's down to 23. But Call of Duty is not coming out day one. It'll be 1 year later for Call of Duty. And it
Okay.
sounds like in the future there's going to be some things where you could get customized Game Passes that it's closer to $8 a month, but then you only get RPGs, or maybe you only get the Bethesda story or games or whatever. Like there's going to be little sub packages. Um, to you, what are your thoughts on the state of Game Pass? Because it's something that I know I dip in and out of whenever there is a new game. What are you
Yeah.
thinking?
I'm a consistent consumer when it comes to Game Pass. I think Game
Yeah,
Pass was one of the greatest inventions, really,
yeah,
to for the consumer. I think that it is a perfect product to use. I know it's like I'm getting paid by Xbox right now, but I'm
yeah.
not.
Hey,
So,
Xbox,
yeah,
let's go, bro. That's not a. I'm gonna
but
turn that money away.
I, I think it's a perfect product to, for individuals to like to play new games and experience something that
Yeah,
wouldn't pay full price for them. But then later on, hey, I absolutely love this game. I want to ensure that it's always in my library. I'll get it on a sale. So essentially, you kind of got extra money out of me because I'm going to buy this game when it comes to Christmas or whatever the case may be.
yeah.
Um, and the games, the library just almost felt infinite at times.
Hmm.
Way farther superior. I think PlayStation's catching up now when it comes to giving you those like monthly games.
Right.
And they have their catalog as well. But something just about the Xbox Game Pass still feels superior. Now with the price cut, that's great because I also pay for the PC Game
Like
Pass
the
as
ultimate.
well.
Hmm.
Because there are times where I find myself wanting to play on the PC version of a game instead,
Yeah.
but not so much. So I do appreciate that it's a lot cheaper than playing on the console. If you were to like divide them, um, but yeah, I think it if you took Call of Duty away, which is a very interesting thing because Xbox owns like the Activision whatnot or
Yeah.
whatever the brands are, that it's just enough that if you wanted to if I saw the math right, if you wanted to buy Call of Duty still like day one, that you would be paying like the normal price of the Game Pass if I
It
got that
makes up
right.
for it. Yeah.
So you're not losing so much. I love the tier thing that you just mentioned because sometimes, I mean, what pulled me into Xbox was the Bethesda games, like Starfield
Right.
was the game why I bought the latest Xbox. So if there was like a version where it would ensure me Bethesda games, and it's a cheaper version because I know I'm gonna pretty much probably spend my time on Xbox only playing those type of games. I
Yeah.
mean, why not? You still got me, right? You
Yeah.
know? I would love to kind of see what the tier system works, I guess. I mean, do you know is there detail
We
released
don't know
when
the
it comes to
details on that
that?
yet. Right now, they're very much
Okay.
so. They released a memo that went out to their employees and also to the public, and it's a lot of like promises and kind of like how we're going to start to get towards these promises, but no finite future, no set future. And one of the so like I'm looking at the package idea, and I wouldn't mind getting a package for all RPGs because I don't really play shooters on the Xbox. I play them on the PC, and so
Yeah, yeah.
that'd be perfect for me. Avowed and Elder Scrolls stuff like that. Uh, or how about this? I'll buy a package where I don't get day ones. I'll get day 3 months after or 6 months after. Like, oh, that sounds like a good plan to me. Um,
Hmm.
I think there's a ton of options there because one thing I really like about Game Pass outside of like, yeah, sure, day one I'll play Call of Duty. I don't really care for the Call of Duty games outside of that, outside of the Game Pass. But like Hellblade Senua, I don't know if that's a game I would pay for, but I do
Mhm.
play both of them because of Game Pass. So it's exposing
Yeah.
me to games that I probably wouldn't normally pay cash for, but now I'm a big advocate for it and will spread the word. And
Mhm.
the problem with Game Pass on the Xbox side is that they're losing money on that thing. The reason Call of Duty's the thing getting kicked off is because when the last Call of Duty came out, I got Game Pass for 1 month for 20 something dollars and played the hell out of it. Was done with it, and they didn't get their $70. And
Mhm.
they're just losing too much money on one of the tentpole games. It's why World of Warcraft will never be free. It's why there's certain games that'll never be free, and that's one of them. Uh, I think it's fair. I just want Game Pass to continue existing, and if you have to kind of adjust things, I'm fine with that, and I want it to be more financially sound for the company and for us.
Mm. Yeah, that's kind of scary to think because how long can Game Pass work if they're losing money, right?
Yeah, they've been losing money this whole
Uh,
time. Yeah,
uh,
they have never
so it's
been
like
making money
it's
on it.
almost like what's the point of the product for them? You know?
Well, it's where they the point is to drive out competition. Same thing that goes with like Uber, that goes with DoorDash. They keep prices low, they take the loss, and like all the DoorDashes and stuff like that, they're taking a loss on that because they want to drive out all competition. And then eventually, once all the competition's gone, once you can no longer get a taxi, Uber prices go back up. Oh, Uber
Yeah.
prices become what taxis are,
Okay.
and suddenly you're fine. That's the idea. Is they wanted to make it to where the idea of renting or of a subscription service for games was the future, and
Hmm.
it's it's possible, but I don't think it's going to replace it. Buying a game on PC especially. So that was the plan, and I think instead of that, like just make it more of a feasible thing, like a perk, where I don't necessarily need to have like theater day one movies on Netflix. Just make things that are on Netflix, and I can find with that too.
Yeah. And okay, so like to kind of go with what you're saying, I think
Yeah,
what's really going to be needed is we need the exclusivities back on Xbox. You have to
that's
get those
the next
things, man,
question. Yeah,
because that's what you're going to be pulling in with the Game Pass. If you're going to put these
yeah,
games on Game Pass, then yeah, or kind of like what you do, I'll buy a smaller tier for many of these Bethesda games or whatever, but I'll spend real money on Gears of War, whatever the case may be.
yeah.
But you got to bring them back, man. I mean, you got nothing. You got nothing. You got a Halo Infinite, and then you got God. It was
Starfield.
Gears of War
But
hasn't even
I'm
released, and it's
sorry, let me
forgetting it
correct
yet.
myself.
But
Starfield went to the other systems. That's the thing, right?
yes,
What
yes,
is an exclusive anymore? I think PlayStation
yeah,
still has notable exclusives, and they have already
yes.
said that they're not going to put games on PC anymore
I
because they
read,
tried that
I
for a
read
while.
that. I read that. Yeah.
Does
So then you're really
Yeah,
forcing the individuals to buy a PlayStation to play these games, and
right?
Spider-Man alone is worth it to me. I
Spider
mean,
Man
shit.
and God of War are like the reason I
Yeah,
own a PlayStation. Those two games.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, The Last of Us.
So
Yeah,
they have to get back to that. They have to get back to okay. Xbox back in the day, reminiscing, you had me pull up that old logo. The things I think about is effing Halo. Okay.
yeah. Gears of War.
You gotta get a Halo, a proper Halo game on this
I'm so
Xbox.
glad you
And you
said
gotta
that,
show
man.
more love.
Yeah,
You gotta show more love. That is your freaking anchor, brother. Okay.
I'm so glad you
So
said that. Yeah.
gosh,
Literally
man.
what I was saying, like in the TikTok I made about this was like, what do you got to do? What does exclusive got to look like? They really are still open to the idea of it eventually going to the other systems, but it needs to be at least a year before it goes to those systems.
Yeah.
But one of the things is like it's okay to have flagship games. PlayStation still does this, and you need to just straight up make a Halo 6, not Halo Infinite 2, not Halo whatever. It needs to be straight up Halo 6. It needs to be Master Chief. It needs to be Cortana.
Yeah.
Make it happen. It's as
Yeah.
simple as that, folks. Show us a picture of Master Chief in the next, because in June they have their state of play. So in June
Hmm.
we're gonna really get a good picture of this whole thing, and of course we're gonna dedicate an episode to it. Um, you have to show that. You have to show Gears of War is coming out at the end of this year. It needs to be
Yeah.
this
You gotta give
year.
us some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the
You
other
gotta give
thing
us
too,
something.
like, uh, we'll continue with exclusivities, but when we're talking about hardware, they said that not only are we really excited about Project Helix and proving that consoles are important still, but we're going to be revisiting Xbox Series X and S and how would I say that? Reshoring those things up, making sure that they're stronger consoles that can compete with the PS5. And I'm like, hell yeah, brother,
Hmm.
because I love my Xbox Series X. So if you're gonna
Yeah. Yeah.
reinvigorate that thing, hell yeah, I'm into it. But yeah, with
Yeah.
exclusives, be a brand again, man. I want to be excited about being an
Yeah.
Xbox owner again, and I'm not because I can just play it on PC or Or hell, when I see that the new Indiana Jones game is going to PlayStation, I'm just like, what a fucking shame, guys. You
Yeah,
own it, you know? It's
yeah.
too bad.
And some of these, like, I wanted to look up some popular games besides like Halo and Gears
Yeah,
of War, but I mean, back then was also Fable. What are they going to do with the new
Fable.
Fable? Are you just going
I,
to release that on
I'm
PlayStation a
sure
year
it's going to
later?
be on
Like,
every system.
no.
I think it is, actually.
It's
I think it's going to be on
so
the other systems, and that's crazy to me.
into yeah, like you said, crazy to me. It feels like it's almost like a slap in the face to like the loyal Xbox fans
The
that
loyal
always
boys.
like
Yeah,
stuck up with the whole like these console war type conversations.
yeah,
Um, and it's like, what do you like? What's the point? You gave up on
right.
me, essentially, is what it feels like.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm okay with
Um,
certain games being cross-platform, even though that they're Xbox exclusives. I'll give you any game that's a community-based game that where the content comes from the community. Here's a couple examples.
okay,
Minecraft. I think that yeah, perfectly
okay.
fine being that on every system. Sea of Thieves, because I think that's better with more people
Mm,
playing it, and so you have
mm-hmm,
more community input on that one. That's good. But the story-driven games, the ones that like you hang the hat on, that I expect to see a big banner of outside of an Xbox store, those need to be only on you.
yeah,
The
yeah.
idea that we're getting Gears of War and Halo is coming to PlayStation. On PlayStation, it
Mm-hmm,
sickens me a little bit. And look, the console wars, we know it's a marketing gimmick. They want us to talk about this stuff right now because it
mm-hmm,
sells both systems better. Even PlayStation's happy when we talk about this stuff.
mm-hmm.
But it's also kind of fun for us, to have that kind
It
of
is. It is.
tit for tat. I like it. Yeah.
It's that little rivalry. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just it's insane that I'm about to waiting for the next sale for Gears of War for the first one. I beat that game so many times. I don't need to play that
Yeah.
thing anymore. But knowing that I can play with a PlayStation controller, I'm doing it just to have the slap on the face a little bit. Like that's the only
You're
reason
your own worst
that
enemy,
I would
man.
do it for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. The next thing is, so they had that. You remember how they had like, this is an Xbox, and it was like a phone. And this is an Xbox TV. They ditched that campaign right away. Matter of fact, it bombed really bad. And all she said, that's
Yeah.
gone. Day one, she said that was gone.
Yeah.
She also said they're changing the name of the division that makes video games for Microsoft. It went to Microsoft Gaming. She says, no, that's
Yeah.
coming back. That's gonna be Xbox. And again,
Nice.
it's just part of using that old logo. And I understand that Xbox should should be played on the PC, but it doesn't need to be PC gaming. It needs to be an Xbox again. So identity, I think, is very important. And then
Hmm.
with Project Helix coming up, that's the new console they're working on. What are some of the things that you feel they need to pitch in June to show that consoles are still important for the future?
Um, let's see. So, are you saying just consoles? Okay. Well, my thing is, I think to make Helix somewhat of a successful and feels like the next generation of gaming is having that interface of what does a PC look like when it comes to just sitting in my
Right.
living room, right? But it's not making it too like super complex. I think we talked about a long time ago. We thought Xbox was going to be a thing where we just continuously upgrade with parts, right?
Yeah.
I
There's
think that
been
might be a little
whispers
bit
of
much
that.
for the
Right.
normal, consumer of just consoles only. And that might turn people away from it.
Yeah.
So so what a console will look like in the future? I mean, honestly,
Yeah. It'll be a
I
PC,
couldn't tell you.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But like
Besides
I
that.
think I think because they're trying to invest back into the console branding, and PlayStation 6 is on the way too, guys. It's in development. I
Mhm.
think if I were in charge of Xbox, I would pitch it as like the ultimate gaming machine. Your computer might be a badass, and you might have spent $5,000 to make that thing the ultimate gaming machine. But we are making one at a cost-effective price, first of all, that is purely for gaming because your computer has to run Windows 11. It has to run, whatever, Norton antivirus or something like that in the background. We're making a machine that's incredibly low latency to where the second you press that button, it is immediate to the control.
Yeah.
Like
That's nice.
pitch it as like the best possible gaming experience possible because we made it to where it's as customizable. It is as fast acting as possible. The graphics are as pinnacle as possible. The games that we make are designed to play on that machine and that machine only. And so
Yeah.
you don't have to, it'll be optimized for that, all the rendering and stuff. So if they could kind of come out, because I think like the last generation of Xbox is kind of like, oh, it's for the whole family. And that definitely can be a selling point in addition to this. But if you want the
Mhm.
people who are going to be spending $70 for your games, you need to come out to me and say, like, hey, that new Call of Duty? It will play the fastest, it'll play the sharpest, it'll be the best render possible on an Xbox Project Helix. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, all right, that's what I'm talking about. That's pitching it
Yeah.
to the gamer, you know.
Yeah, and you know what? A little part of me says that I'd be okay maybe if it wasn't the fastest, but it's your all-in-one like Xbox always wanted to be, right? Like
That's
when I
yeah.
turn on my Xbox, I got my Game Pass library, any additional Xbox games that I bought. I got my Steam library on there. You got all your like what it is now, like when Netflix, all the media type
They
things.
plan on
Like if
Steam
it's
being on
my
it. They've already have the
all-in-one,
UI for that. So Steam will be on
yeah,
there eventually.
and I hear that very
Yeah.
often, so that's why I'm like referencing it. But if it's like that, really, like, hey, why go turn on my PC in a different room when my Xbox literally is the only thing I ever need now?
Yeah.
I think that'd be a massive deal breaker when it comes to deciding what the next generation console you're gonna get.
I think look, if I'm focusing on the gamer market, which I think is something that'll go out and buy a new console immediately. And I think, yeah, obviously, like also
Hmm.
come out with games that are just good for the whole family to play. Come out with a new Banjo Kazooie or whatever you can, that's in the deeper cuts of the library. But if we're looking at just the hardcore gamer, if you were to say, yeah, that new Steam game you bought for your PC, it'll run better on the Xbox. Oh my
Yeah,
God, what a market that would be. To say
yeah,
that
heck yeah,
a PC only game runs better on the
yeah.
Xbox, shit, yeah, man.
It's almost like what level of PC components does it stack up to, right? Like, hey,
Yeah.
if you're rocking, we'll just say 50s right now, right? Because that's what
Mhm.
the era we're in. Hey, it's gonna run better than your 50, 60, whatever. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
fuck, man, I'm rocking a 30 right now, so this is
Right.
amazing. So
Well, and my argument behind that is like obviously the prices will go up if you do that. If you like go
hmm
tit for tat on the PC. But my thinking, and I'm not a genius on this, so please, if there's people out there that are like Frank, you're a freaking idiot. I get it. I am. Trust me. Um, but I'm thinking like you could have incredibly low latency because its only job is to play video games. It doesn't need to do word processor. It doesn't need to do Microsoft Word
Okay.
or have an Explorer. If its one job is for PC, it's or playing video games, as soon as you fire it up, it has the UI to play a video game and then it plays a video game. The latency on everything goes down. And so like frame rates don't have to be bogged down by doing background stuff because its job is to play the computer game. And
Yeah.
so that's why I'm like, if I could put a Steam game that's normally optimized to have like operations going in the background of my computer, but it's only happening on the Xbox, where its one job is to play that one Steam game,
hmm
I could see an argument saying that it's gonna run it better than it will on a computer. And, like, those little things like that, I don't know, it's a selling point to me. And then also come out with, like,
Yeah.
I already know it can do it, but, like, it's not advertised that it can do it, but, like, both the PS5 and Xbox can do this. But say, yeah, you could plug a keyboard and mouse on this thing too. And, like, I know they already can do it, but, like,
I
make that
think
an
that has to
advertisement.
be a thing, right? I think
Yeah.
that has to be. Yeah. Um, that's must, but it almost goes back to the convenient thing, like what I was saying. If it's like, if it's this all-in-one thing, and you said like, hey, your goal is just to do games.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting there, right, and this happens, and I'm tired, I'm lazy.
Yeah.
You know what? It's better than me going to my computer and booting that thing up and waiting however long it starts. Is turning on the Xbox and having instant Steam library right
Yeah.
then and there,
Oh, yeah.
that much faster.
I think Sea of
And
Thieves is the best
I see
example of this
that.
because, like, if I'm gonna play Sea of Thieves with my friends or whatever, I'm playing right here at the computer where I'm optimized for it. But like, if
Yeah.
I just want to go and do some missions or whatever, and I have some time and I just want to kill something and just like be on that on the ocean, Xbox is
Yeah.
perfect for that because it's not like I don't need to be as optimized or whatever for that. But
Mhm.
I think there's a market there too. So yeah, it's an interesting pitch, and I'm just excited to see this Asha Sharma, who, when she was first announced, I was one of the first, detractors from her because she came from the AI department, and she's cutting back on some of the AI initiatives that were already being put in place by Xbox. I'm like, wow, I'm
Yeah.
not surprised of all people for her. And like, there was this big thing like, oh, she's gonna be the final blow for Xbox. She'll be the final thing to
Yeah.
destroy it. And instead, she is taking it back to being an Xbox,
Yeah.
and it's really exciting. And I don't know, there's this thing where it's like there's a part of me that's an Xbox fanboy that's just like, "I'm excited to be a fanboy again,"
Mhm. Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, and I had my skepticism of it as well, with
Yeah.
the majority of everyone else. But I mean, like what she's doing right now is just fixing the identity crisis that Xbox is in right now,
Exactly.
and bringing it back with those old logos and kind of like newer, revamps of things. And yeah, yeah, I'm all for it. I think so far she's been dropping prices, and making it kind of go back to
Yeah.
roots. I mean, there hasn't been a strike yet, and so far, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think about the state of Xbox. If you are optimistic about the future of Xbox, and if you are, I want you to also tell me when's the last time that was the case. you know. So I
hmm
think that's going to be something very interesting to discuss further as we go along. we'll probably discuss a little bit more too at the next. We have 2 conventions coming up, guys, that are going to be video game based. So this is going to be a really good time to be talking about exclusives and stuff like that too. So we'll bring them up there as well. Let us know
Mhm.
what you guys think on. All right, let's wrap things up. We're going to be visiting the network. We have Disasserting talking about CinemaCon, and they're also talking about Clayface. Outlast Podcast, we're talking about episode 9. Jimmy Fallon screws over Christian. Dude, screw Jimmy Fallon. He messed up the show so bad. Phantom Portals is talking about now they just did one for the most impactful Spidey side characters, which was like one of my favorite side characters from any of the movies is Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2.
Mm,
And so
mhm.
that was one of them that's on the list. But yeah, they talk about others as well.
Nice.
And then again, a reminder that we have 2 conventions coming up. You guys are welcome to come and join us. Hop on microphone, start answering some questions. We're gonna have video game trivia, all kinds of fun stuff to be doing at the booth. Come and swing by. Squeaks, what is your recommendation for the week?
Yeah, so my recommendation. So I've said it before. I read a lot. I read a lot. So when I'm not reading, I'm listening to audiobooks. So
Yeah.
my recommendation is
Mine's an
going to
audiobook
be.
too. Go ahead. It's funny. It's funny.
Oh wow. Okay. My audiobook is going to be kind of in preparation for the Harry Potter series that's coming up. So right now, Audible did this full cast.
Oh, yeah.
What do they call it? Full cast, whatever.
Like studio recordings, maybe.
Full
or
cast
something?
edition. That's all it is.
Okay.
I thought there was
Yeah,
more
yeah,
to
yeah.
it. But full cast edition of all the Harry Potter books. They're phenomenal. That we've talked about it before with Sandman. You know, the sound
Yeah, oh,
effects,
God,
the
Sandman.
different actors playing it, of characters and their voices and going along. And it's really, I've read the book. I have the illustrated book as well for the first one, Sorcerer's Stone, and now this audiobook. And
Yeah.
it still blows my mind with some of the things I don't remember because it's been so many years. But also just enjoy hearing it in a different view, you know,
Mhm.
in a different way, I guess you could say. So it's going to be the full cast edition of the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
So they only have the first one
Yeah.
out with the full cast?
No, there's I think they're all out. At least if they're not
Oh,
all
wow.
out, they're up to 6, I believe.
Okay.
I'm just now finally being, beginning that journey. So
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
yeah.
Do you know if they use any of the like John Williams music in it?
I don't think so. Actually, I haven't heard
Okay.
too much music. Just kind of like those melodies, kind of like when things are happening.
Oh, okay.
Not so much with music. But why I said preparation of the Harry Potter series is that what I'm hearing is the series is supposed to be very mimic to the book.
Yeah.
So
right.
I'm hoping, there's that difference between the series and then the movies prior.
John Williams does such a good job of just being like so iconic. I
Mm-hmm.
had picked up an old copy of Harry Potter at the thrift store. I was doing a deep dive into some old books, and so I was just kind of reading a few chapters or whatever. And right away, like as you're reading certain things, and they become the iconic shot of like the train or the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just starting
Mm-hmm.
hearing John Williams music, and it's like, man, that guy's done
Mm-hmm.
a good job of just ingraining himself into
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
My suggestion to you guys, I am starting this week Dungeon Crawler Carl. Enough recommendation.
Oh, starting this week? I thought
I
you were
know.
already on this because I downloaded the book and I was expecting to talk to you about it. Okay, my ass
Because
still.
I went back and finished a few other things first, a few of the books. So
Okay,
this
okay.
week I'm starting Dungeon Crawler
Okay.
Carl. It is happening this week,
Okay.
and I will give you guys updates online about how my journey through Dungeon Crawler Carl. Because I have gotten, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, hold on, stop, finish up reading, Kingdom Come, finish up reading. So I was like, let me get these out of the way, then I'll get it because God. I get a stack of books here, a stack there. I'm
Yeah.
about to buy the new Invincible comic. God damn it.
Yeah.
So this week,
No.
Dungeon Crawl Carl, guys, join me along with that journey, and we'll talk about it as we go. That'll be a lot of fun.
Nice.
There we go. All right, everybody. This has been a long one. I think it was a really good one. Thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure you drop us those 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Look, if you guys drop us a review on Apple Podcasts, we'll rate it here on the podcast. So be nice. Appreciate it. If you want to say like Squeaks sounds sexy and Frank's handsome as hell, I'll read it. It'll be a sacrifice, but I'll do my job. All right, everybody. Have yourself a good one. We'll see you guys at the cons. Bye.
Bye.